We have one goal going into season 2 of our Football Empire Building Challenge after a frankly really good first season with Sunderland, getting into mid-table. We need to finish in the top 10 this year. If we finish in the top 10, we get to unlock our first expansion club. So that is the only goal we have. We need an expansion club. And as far as how we get there goes, as you can see, at the end of the season, we are sat here with a transfer budget of £34 million. So there is money to spend, and job one is to spend that money on improving some of the facilities. We can improve the training facilities. We can improve our junior coaching. We can improve our youth recruitment. If this is going to be the flagship club of a major footballing empire, we need all of this stuff to be absolutely state of the art. And to be fair, Sunderland have some pretty good facilities anyway, but we want these to be absolutely top notch, because my understanding of how this works is that once we do have multiple clubs, we can share the facilities within the multi-club network, the empire, whatever you want to call it. So we need to get some money invested there. So that's job one. And then if we look at the team that we're ending the season with, there are some noticeable areas that aren't very good. Stefano Turati, who we signed last summer, barely played. Anthony Patterson, probably not good enough for the Premier League. If we're going to be a top half Premier League team, we need a big boy goalkeeper. So that is an important job. We could also probably do with another right back, or at least decide if Mukiel is a centre back or a right back. If he's a centre back, we need a right back. If he's a right back, we probably need a centre back. And then we are a little bit light in the wide areas as well. At least one more winger and maybe a proper backup to Omega would be not the end of the world. So there's certainly targets for us. Let's see how we get on. And that, boys and girls, is how you spend £34 million. I mean, in my defence, we actually did get more than that. That budget that I showed you before was the budget that was left over from us being given more money back in January. Actually ended up with a budget of £55 million going into the season. And as you can see, we started spending it almost straight away, with some big transfers coming in at the end of last season before the season's even properly ticked over. So we solved our goalkeeper problem, hopefully for the long term, hopefully forever. Straight away, Guillaume Restes has come in for £27.5 million. Not had the best of starts to life in the Northeast, but he's arrived as our new goalkeeper. We've also taken advantage of Everton getting relegated by swooping and taking Jared Branthwaite off of them. It's not a position I was particularly looking to strengthen, but when a 6'5" English 24-year-old centre-back becomes available, you go and buy that guy. That's a guy who could be in our defence when we're winning the Champions League. So that one was a no-brainer. But we needed a winger. So Johan Bakayoko is in, Belgian international, 4 caps for Belgium already, 4 stars of current ability. He cost us £21 million and joins from Leipzig, one multi-club group to another, although we don't have multiple clubs yet. So do we even count as that at this stage? I said we needed a right back. We have a right back, Wesley. He's in from Roma for a bargain price of £6 million. And we got ourselves a second winger, because you can never have too many. Jacob Broom is a 22-year-old Danish winger who comes in from Go Ahead Eagles. And then, because we had money left, we went and got Martin Baturina, 23-year-old midfielder who can play centre mid, attacking mid, out wide on the left. He comes in from Como for £27 million. You can see we moved on quite a few of our fringe players. Luke O'Neill, he's the first one to leave for £5 million. And if we tick over into the new season, we sold Masuaku, we sold Alessi, Habib Diarra went out on loan. We just got rid of a lot of the fringe players. Ryan Andrews, who we only signed last summer. I mean, that's an example of trusting the assistant manager to pick the right team, and then when he doesn't, Ryan Andrews just got annoyed. We spent £9.75 million on him for his potential. He didn't play, so we've had to make a big loss on him because he was unhappy, and I'm not here on a day-to-day basis to cheer him up the way only I can. So a few more boys leaving there, and then we went out and grabbed some more players as well. Harry Maguire coming in on a free transfer. We've got a centre-back partnership of Jared Branthwaite and Harry Maguire. There's going to be goals between those two. Yusufa Mukoko has come in as our rotation option across the front three. German international at only 21 years old, 2 caps for Germany. I know in real life he's obviously gone to Copenhagen. In Football Manager, he's still the Borussia Dortmund wonder kid. £57 million for him seemed like a fairly sensible piece of business for someone with huge upside. And then we filled out the squad with some loans. So Kani Chukwuemeka comes in from Chelsea on loan for the season. Jayden Dans comes in from Liverpool as a third striker for us. He's in on loan for the season as well. Christopher Oliver is another body for central midfield because we, like I say, have trimmed a lot of players out. And then we finished off the window by signing this guy, Kemlein, a 22-year-old German midfielder from Union Berlin. He comes in to fill out the squad. And you can see with a few more first teamers from last year have gone, most notably Daniel Ballard has gone out on loan to Aston Villa with a mandatory future fee of £22 million. So we're getting big money in for him at the end of the season. Tom Lavery's another one who's moved on. We obviously don't need these boys because we've got lots of good defenders in now. So if we have a look at what the game thinks our best 11 would be based on those transfers, I mean, Harry Maguire doesn't even get in it. I consider that to be quite a good sign. Realistically, it's probably more of that, but obviously I'm not picking the team, so I don't necessarily get a vote on this. And then we'd potentially have him in there, maybe, although it could be him. We are switching to a 4-2-3-1. I talked about it last summer and then didn't switch to it. But if we have a look at how the season started with this 4-3-3, things weren't going well. Losing to Spurs in the manner we lost to Spurs, we switched the tactic there. And then put 8 goals past Chesterfield. So we're a 4-2-3-1 team now, boys and girls. The season itself didn't start spectacularly. We're down in 15th place, which is not ideal for a team that need to get to the top half of the table. But Bakayoko started well, and fingers crossed, with all that money spent, and we are now overdrawn, and we've got some significant transfer debt. We're not going to do this throughout the save. We're giving ourselves a head start. We will manage finances sensibly in the long run. We're Nottingham Foresting it first. Let's see how we get on. And there you go. We finished 8th in the league, which does unlock an additional club. I'll show you who the first expansion club are in a second. But first of all, let's have a look at how this season went. So if we have a look at who our best players have been, goal scorers wise, Emega not scoring anywhere near as many goals as he did the season before. Only started 23 games. I wonder if that's because of Makoko being in. No, Makoko only started 3 games. Who on earth has been playing up front? Jayden Dans started 20 games, 15 games in the Premier League. So Jayden Dans actually coming in, starting matches and scoring goals. I mean, he's not someone we're going to have next year. I need to stop doing loans. That's a disaster. But he's done quite well and taken a lot of Emega's starts and goals off of him. Makoko looking like a real bargain for £57 million, isn't he? Maybe we have got the Copenhagen version of him. Harry Maguire, as you would expect, has scored goals, 11 goals from him, presumably all headers from corners, maybe some penalties in there as well. Adingra weighing in with decent amount of goals as well. Bakayoko, we saw him start the season well. It looks like he has had a very good season, 22 goal contributions from him. The assists, Bakayoko, Baturina only starting 15 games, which is interesting for someone who you would expect to be one of our best players. But I guess if we're playing this 4-2-3-1, it becomes quite challenging to fit him in. If you look at who the best 11 would be, I mean, I guess you could play him on the left, you could play him in there, but he was kind of signed with a 4-3-3 in mind, and then we've not used the 4-3-3. So yeah, he's been a little bit of a victim of that, and it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to be happy to stick around. He doesn't look like he wants to leave just yet, so that's a good sign. And then if we look at average ratings of players who've actually played a decent number of games, Bakayoko is your man. Emega showing that he's still very useful as well. And all in all, it's been a jolly good season. And even the finances aren't completely disastrous. We're in the Premier League. You can develop some transfer debt and not worry too much about the long-term projections because so much money does flow into the club. I'm not overly concerned about that. As long as we're within these, and we are well within these. I mean, you can see we're allowed to make a loss of £4 million as far as Champions League or European football is concerned. We're projected a 3-year profit of £90 million. We're doing fine financially at the moment, and you can see we've got an enormous amount of money to spend this coming summer as well. And spend it we shall, but we'll also be spending somewhere else, because we have unlocked our first expansion club after ticking off our first objective of finishing in the top half of the Premier League. Welcome to the Empire, Standard Liège of Belgium, who are immediately playing in Sunderland kits. That must be to do with how I've set up the affiliate link. You can see we've set up the affiliate link. This is why we needed the editor turned on for the save. So Sunderland are going to pay Standard Liège £10 million a year. That's the most we could do as part of the agreement. So we're throwing money at them that way, but we're allowed to move players freely between the two clubs. We share the same board. It's a permanent arrangement. We do share youth players share the training facilities with us. So that's why it's so important that we had the good youth facilities and training facilities at Sunderland. We're sharing scouting knowledge. We're sharing merchandising. We will be using the same kit, and we get first refusal on Standard Liège players as well. If we look at the situation at Standard Liège, they've just finished 11th in Belgium, which is not ideal for a team that traditionally do have a decent amount of history. I mean, 10 times winners of the Belgian League, although not won it in 15 years at this point. But it is a team who've got some untapped potential to start clambering back up the structure again. There's not much money here, and I mean the wage budget is pathetic compared to the spend, but hopefully that £10 million from Sunderland comes in soon. If not, we might have to do some transfer shenanigans and use some of our £77 million budget at Sunderland to buy a couple of useless players here at Standard Liège and shift some budgets around. But yeah, we will start building multi-club from the next episode. I feel like it's going to break my tiny brain. Bear with me. I'm going to need a few days. Episode 3 of this series should be out on Monday, and we'll see if we can maybe start pushing on to win something with Sunderland and try and do something towards recovering with Standard Liège. If we have a look at our upcoming objectives to unlock Club 3, we've got European qualification with either club, a league win with either club, or a domestic cup win with either club. So there's definitely some possibility going into season 3 for us to unlock another club as well and really start to accelerate the expansion of our empire. But fingers crossed you have enjoyed that video. If you have, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for loads more of this, plus all the other Football Manager content I'm going to be throwing at you over the next few weeks while we wait for FM26. And then, believe me, I've got some plans for FM26 as well. Thank you very much to my beautiful Patreons for making all of this possible. And thank you very much for watching.